Happy weekend. Hopefully you guys all survived and made it through the beginning of September up to this eclipse on Sunday without anything too nuts so happening. But I mean, I think it's going to be like a really good evolution for us and beginnings of new things. I've had lots of really awesome things happen, so I'm not complaining. Bring it on, Eclipse! I pulled the tower card earlier, so I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? Oh me, loving that chaos. It's part of life. Life is not life without change. So embrace the change. It's actually when things don't move fast enough and don't change fast enough and don't change at all is when I'm like, all right, let's go. Come on. Plus, you know, I got to yell no and fuck you a lot in my last video, which was pretty, that was pretty fun. Yeah, I'm sitting like this because I'm trying not to flash the internet. I may have done it once in one of my other videos. I mean, I've been in a bathing suit, but I don't really want to show you guys my crotch, as strange as that sounds. Great. Ooh. Let's see. I hope that everybody is being mindful and aware and showing each other how much they love each other on a daily basis, and not just today of all days, because it's in America the day that buildings got blown up and planes got hijacked, and it's very ironic that only on certain days of the year are we allowed to actually express and show our love and gratitude for other people. And it's very hypocritical. You know, people, they don't want to hear it when you are talking about serious issues that are going on in the world, because that might mess up their, day, and they can't go to work and save their money and pay, and save up for going on vacation. You know who doesn't get to go on vacation? Well, I guess it's kind of a vacation. Syrians. I mean, it's kind of a forced vacation, but, oh God, and she's getting all geopolitical up in here. Oh shit. I think we like to put ourselves in a little box and pretend that stuff isn't happening because it's easier for our little brains. And I understand it's difficult to process the world around us and remind ourselves that stuff is just falling apart around. And we are privileged. We are privileged people. All right, there we go. We're very privileged to have an environment around us that is not being bombed to crap. I mean, some people live in an environment where stuff's burning down around them, and in America, and it's like there's a part of the population that's still like, no, don't tell us. I don't want to know, because it's gonna ruin my buzz. It's gonna harsh my mellow. And it's like, come on. Even if you're still doing what you're doing, you're going about your day, you're going about your life, and you're trying to just pay your house payments and, have some semblance of sanity, because I know how hard it is. Always remember that there's situations that could be even worse, and that the smallest amount of gratitude that we can have for our day, when we are wondering why things are not working out, when we're upset over, I don't know, some game not coming out or something happening that, like, puts a wrench in our plans of like what we were expecting, and we just freak out, that there's those moments. Remember, shit's not fucking being bombed right outside your house for the most part. If they are, I'm sorry, and cool that you are still able to watch my video. But I'm assuming most people are not having internet if that's happening. But the smallest amount of gratitude that we can have can go the longest way. We are very privileged people. I am privileged, but I want to use everything that I have and give it to people. I want to make sure that we are living in a world of harmony and peace and shared resources and working for the greater good, cultivating gardens and reducing pollution, and it's a long list. But I never that never leaves my mind. It never leaves my mind, and I mean, it was pretty overwhelming, a burden for a while, and I was just like, it's just always try to take yourself out of the immediate and understand there's more going on. Our immediate surrounding is not just us. It's our social groups, our work, the area of our where we reside, the geographical location, and things that are going on with that. That all affects us socioeconomically. So remembering to factor that in your daily life and figure out how you can benefit and help others in a way. Like, not necessarily are you personally benefiting, besides the fact that hopefully it makes you feel good to help other people, but the fact that you take up a cause that you find that speaks to your heart and helps other people, because we are here to be of service for others. Now, in my other video, I was talking about people who give and not accepting people who don't give back. That's when they're taking advantage. When you're giving back to people who have nothing, who need more than they have, that is creating an equal playing field for you and them. Just wanted to clear that up. So, let's see the love cards. You're a jewel, even though you may not see it, which you consider imperfect as an illusion. Even in darkness you shine eternally bright. I always shine. I can't not shine. I'm like a target. Some for good, some for bad. Let us be the love that we seek. Let us be the change we wish to see. Let us give freely to one another without condition, for it is in giving that we receive. That was what I was talking about, where we're giving of ourselves because we have so much, and we can give. We have that peace of mind. So taking on the burdens of others sometimes is beneficial to both parties, because it takes some off of their back. Take some of those wands off someone else's back. Life is a cycle of changing seasons. Let us welcome each new season. Welcome this new season of eclipses. It's going to be lasting about 6 months. So whatever you wish to be doing for, what are you trying to manifest? We have a new moon. It's a start, a beginning. What do you want to put in place for 6 months? And just do that. Try to do that. Be that. Surrender the past with grace. Let us remember that nothing is ever lost, for all exists eternally within our heart. If you're afraid of losing something or someone, let them go. Release them. Because holding on to them, holding so tightly, only traps you in your, in your swords. You're the Eight of Swords. You're sitting there trapped, worrying about things when it's out of your control. We can't control other people. We can only control our environment and our own existence. And so, controlling your thoughts is part of it. And that's an exercise that is very important to learn, because when we learn how to control our thoughts and we're not so controlled by our thoughts, then we're able to have a better existence, because then we can take on things that mean more to us than a thought pattern that is held us hostage for far too long. Rumination. From a physical perspective, some relationships may seem less than perfect. Yet, from a higher perspective, all relationships are sacred, for they help us to grow in love and wisdom. I always say that people come into your lives for one reason or another, and it's important to always try and treat them with kindness. I mean, you can tell them things, you can be honest and truthful with them, and whether they, whether it's projected they think you're being mean to them or rude to them by telling them the truth, which I don't think so, is all of their own projections of the situation or the thing. And I always find it the kindest thing is to tell the truth, even if it does hurt, because you're far better off knowing the truth than living a lie for far too long and being caught up in delusions and illusions through other people, not allowing you to complete your karmic cycle with whatever thing you are going through with them. They come into our lives to teach us things, to help us out, to be there for us when we need them, and sometimes they stay and sometimes they don't. I tend to not stay because I change quickly. Queen of Wands here. Empress too. Empress, Queen of Wands. So, I am so grateful for you, my love. You give so freely without condition. Life is an endless flow of blessings because of you and your great love. There you go. All right. So for the cards today, we have the Queen of Wands. Hi. And this is for the whole weekend. So the Queen of Wands is a very, she's a doer. She gets things done. She's energetic. She's creative. She has ideas. She, she's in the upright, so, good ideas. Some could be a little half-baked. I've had half-baked ideas sometimes that didn't follow through, but she's always a woman of action, and she stands up for herself and others, and she's logic and reason. When in the upright, she's justice, and Saturn's about to move into Sagittarius, and that is going to be a whole lot of justice right there. Let me tell you, this is gonna be some good stuff, because and I hate to pull from like the current topics, because but Donald Trump is a Gemini. Now I have certain opinions on that guy, but I will reserve them and not say how much. But so Saturn will be in his 7th house. This is going to be shaping how he relates to other people. Clearly that guy cannot play well with others. So Saturn's going to reteach that whole process, and in the beginning it may be pretty ugly. So don't you fret. I'm very certain he's not going to get very far. There's too many good people out there and not enough really awful, horrible people. even though we always see the awful, horrible people winning. But that's what justice and Saturn and Saturn and Sagittarius is all about. Justice, baby. All right. So yeah. So she's the the gal who is very outlandish. She's very loud. She's very she's in your face because she has something to say and she believes in what she has to say. I love being a Queen of Wands. I do. It's been hard at times in my life because of the backlash, and people always want to label you. If you're too outlandish, you're going against the grain. She's the fire. Fire can be destructive. It can be demolishing, but it also can be cleansing. And so that element of being a person of that can be very difficult, especially when you don't have a good support network. Thankfully, I have a great support network, so it's made it a little bit easier to be a fire queen. But so we have the Princess of Swords in the upright next to it. So the Princess of Swords, or Princess of the Rushing Winds, is the Page of Swords. And so the pages are always the ones to bring messages and can be younger, female, feminine energy. Can be a little immature with words, but it's in the upright, so it's not so immature. So there is that energy of like maybe this news or updates or something where things are being said and maybe they're not 100% all the way. Maybe they're half-baked. Maybe this is a half-baked reading. We'll call it that. I don't think so. But we have the Foolish Man here on the upright too, which is the Fool, which is the brand new journey. So I think there's going to be some brand new journey with this fiery energy and this talkative words energy happening. And then we have the Two of Swords in reverse. And so that's conversations, things happening of a mental level between two people and understandings. So maybe there's a new understanding that you're coming to in your life, and it's not necessarily all half-baked. It's just something you've never thought about before or you've never really experienced before, and now it's starting to come and germinate. And that's great because, the Eclipse is all about new. It's all about bringing in new things. And so maybe you're going to start writing a new book, or you're going to pursue some mental or verbal expression or career. And that's going to be a new venture for you. It could be many different things, but it's you've got the Queen of Wands energy, and she's all about starting. She's a doer. She does things. She gets stuff done, and that's really important. People always she can overdo things, but people always forget she's the one who gets stuff done, and it's important to have that kind of person around. The producer. So we have the Six of Swords, the Magician in reverse, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and the Empress in reverse. Now, stuck energies, especially with all these cards in reverse, and the fact that it's just the beginning. So I would say things are starting to get moving with that Six of Swords. That's all about the beginning, get going. We're getting past the Five of Swords energy where people are just fighting or conversing about something, and we're moving forward with our thoughts or the energies. And the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress, all in reverse, kind of points to, in my opinion, you're just beginning to understand where you want to start going in your life. And being that magician in your life can be difficult, not knowing exactly how to start those things. Being in just a very basic beginning, because you don't really have a prototype. There's no real role model for a lot of things, especially if you're trying to start a new way of being in yourself. So you just have to kind of wing it as you go, and that's a lot of that Magician in reverse energy, where you're kind of just trying to figure it out. and it can be confusing. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Sometimes things are up, sometimes things are down. Karmically, it's just the spinning of the wheel going on. Like, we are figuring out if we're gonna hit jackpot or if we're gonna hit, $50. And that's okay, because sometimes the new stuff doesn't always 100% work, but at least you're sitting in that new energy and you're going with it. You're going forward and you're acting, and not just thinking about it and hoping and wishing it'll happen, and ruminating that you can't ever do anything new in your life because nothing ever starts, because you have the power to do that. And then we have the Empress in reverse, and this is to focus on that creation, that creative energy within. The Empress is all about, and she's even got her justice, she's all about, she's the creator, the god. She's making things happen. She is, she can be overly emotional, and I think that we may be overly emotional when it comes to this change, because we're not used to being the creator. We're not used to being that magician, because we've been so used to following a certain path, a certain idea, a certain standard, a certain expectation of how we are supposed to be in life, and what we are supposed to want, and what we are supposed to feel is valuable. This Wheel of Fortune, value. This is the new beginning. This is the start of who you want to be. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be what has made you miserable in the past just because it's supposed to be that way? You're supposed to act a certain way, you're supposed to feel a certain way, you're supposed to abide by certain social standards? No. No! 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 Let's say it again. No! No! You're allowed to, and you're gonna make mistakes. Princess of Swords sometimes makes mistakes. Sometimes she cuts off an ear or a flank and a tail. Whoops-a-doodle. Like, that happens. I don't know if it's going to grow back, but, you learn. You can always learn from your mistakes. And you say, you know what, that was a great experience because I learned something. And then it's never wasted. You can always put value on stuff, even if it doesn't go exactly the way, because that's life, and you just say, well, I learned something, I learned that person's not my friend, or I learned that I can't do that, but you learned that, and you did it, you fulfilled that prophecy, and you now know, so you can say, you know what, I crossed that one off, or I'll maybe try again in a different way, and it's not a failure, it's just a learning experience, and it's not going to kill me, and I'm not going to die, and, hopefully stuff's not going to blow up, but we do have the Tower card here, so maybe. So we have the Blasted Tower. So I pulled 4 extra cards for, the super ethereal eclipse energy. The Blasted Tower. Phew! I'm not surprised. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Hierophant in reverse, and we have the High Priestess in reverse. Man, we have a lot of major arcana cards in this reading, but I'm really not surprised. I'm so not, because eclipses are powerful. They are very potent, and we diminish that because of the disconnect that we feel in most of our lives, that we say, oh, this doesn't attain to me because I have to focus on making my money and saving up for my vacation, and not telling the people that I love them because I'm mad at them for some trivial reason, and I don't know. But yeah, things are falling apart. Lord of the Hosts of the Mighty, the Tower card. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Shit's blowing up. It was on unstable ground to begin with, so that's probably a good thing. We have the Queen of Pentacles, which is all about an energy of home matters and money matters, and being, the ruling the roost of your home. So, and with the Hierophant here, I think there's going to be an adjustment when it comes to women's roles in existence and reality. That's actually, I want to say, that is something that is really, because we have that Queen of Wands, and she's actually a little bit, I mean, the Pentacles, Miss Pentacles and Miss Wands, they're similar, but they're different, because Wands is all about doing, and she doesn't really focus on the money, and the Queen of Pentacles is all about the money, all about the practical, and Wands can be kind of impractical sometimes, and not really understanding that, you can't always just spend and not save. I mean, I had to learn that one, but, we got that one all figured out again. Then we have the Hierophant in reverse, which is all about breaking away from the tradition. So are we going to finally, break away from this traditional role of how women are supposed to be seen, and how we only appreciate certain bodies and certain ways of who's attractive or who's sexy? And what about men? What about, the role of men being the object of desire and affection, and the women being able to pursue men and not feel like they're desperate or weird because that's not socially acceptable? I mean, there's a lot of different things that could be possible with this reading. The Queen of Pentacles can be a little bit greedy. So I have a feeling it can be some of this greed that we see so ever present in our society being broken apart and broken down, and the sharing of the wealth. The Hierophant talks about religion, institutions, so I have a feeling it's maybe has to do with financial or religious institutions breaking apart. Different ways that we're dealing with, feeding the homeless, or money matters in budgets in our, cities and societies. And we have the High Priestess in reverse. Now, the High Priestess in reverse can be somebody who is supposed to be an expert on something and not giving great advice. And so maybe there's experts out there that are finally going to lose their credibility, credentialing, something to that extent, or the fact that we are still not tapping into that inner wisdom that we so seek, but yet we ignore. And that the High Priestess is, she's very intuitive. She's very she kind of gets the subtext of most people's conversations or thoughts or actions, and there could be a possible misunderstanding of things. And so, I mean, I think that most of these reversals are just all about, it's like the beginning and you're just getting started to being this, person who's able to manage their own money matters and think of themselves as their own, institution, and being able to tap into that inner resource of higher consciousness, and be the creator of their own life and own realm, and act and go forth and act and find the value in all of this, because we've been taught that we need everyone else to help us out, and we couldn't possibly do it all ourselves. But I think that's the lie that they tell us, just to get us to participate and rely on what they sell us and the foibles of society. But I don't think it doesn't necessarily mean that society has to break down. I just think it just means we get to be more responsible for our own well-being and health and understandings in life. So I hope that you guys all have a really great beginning to something brand new in your life, that you have a brand new understanding regardless of where it falls in whatever house that you are, and that know that this is just the beginning of something wonderful and prosperous and beautiful in your life. And with that, I will wish you adieu. And yes and no. Bye.